Wait. Before we start, laro muna tayo. Kapag sinabing Fukuoka food, anong dish ang unang pumapasok sa isip mo? Lock in your answers in the comment section in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If ang sagot nyo ay ramen, for sure, hindi ka nag-iisa. After all, Fukuoka ang birthplace ng Tonkotsu Ramen. Arguably, ang pinakasikat na ramen type sa mundo. But it may be its most iconic food export, pero there's definitely more to Fukuoka's food scene than ramen. In this video, mag-share din kami sa inyo ng ramen recommendations, pero we'll also give you a taste of some of the other local favorites, hindi lang sa Fukuoka City, but also the rest of the prefecture. Hey there, Tipiter! We are Vince and Josh, and paborito namin ang Japanese food. Pero for a country na merong internationally revered cuisine, yung street food culture sa Japan, hindi ganun kabongga. And by bongga, meaning hindi ka masyadong makakakita ng night markets, hindi normal yung kumakain sa kalsada or kapag naglalakad. Pero yung street food culture ay buhay na buhay dito sa Fukuoka. Dito kasi, street food ang pangunahing attraction, as evident in the number of yatai na makikita mo throughout the city. So, let's talk about that first. Ano ba tong yatai? Ang yatai ay mobile food cart or stand na makikita sa sidewalk dito sa Fukuoka. Usually, nagbubukas ito in the early evening and madalas yung mga patrons ay mga salarymen o yung mga kakalabas lang from opisina. Tapos, buong gabi na yan, tapos magsasara sa umaga. More than half of all the yatai in Japan ay makikita dito sa Fukuoka. Marami sa kanila ay nagsaserve ng mouth-watering bowls of Hakata ramen. Pero, may mga stalls din na nag-o-offer ng iba-ibang Japanese dishes. Merong oden, yakitori, tempura, and seafood din. You'll find high concentration sa dalawang areas. Yung una ay malapit sa Tenjin Station and pangalawa sa Nakasu. Ito yung small island between Hakata and Tenjin. Nasa river ito. Over the years, marami-rami na rin kaming mga na-try na yatay sa areas na to. Pero on our most recent visit, dito kami kumain sa Kenzo. It's a yatay known for serving an impressively wide variety of Japanese dishes. Yung pinaka nagustuhan namin, itong mentaiko or spicy cod roe na delicacy dito sa Fukuoka. Personally, pinaka nasarapan ako sa hurumonyaki or grilled offal or lamang loob na medyo chewy, medyo fatty. Actually, hindi nga lang siya medyo. Fatty talaga siya, makasalanan. Smoky and surprisingly addictive. And, syempre, yung iba ring mga usual favorites like yakitori, meron sila dito. Best seller din nila dito yung kanilang mga fried noodle dishes. Meron silang fried ramen. At saka meron din kaming na-try na noodle dish na lasang Pinoy spaghetti. Pero hindi lang Kenzo yung worthy puntahan ha. In our past visits, na-try din namin itong Tenjin Yatai Mune. Dito naman ang pinaka-popular ay yung ramen. And masarap talaga at mas mura kaysa sa mga sikat na ramen chains. Signature din nila dito yung tamago mentaiko combo. Omelette siya na yung filling ay yung cod roe. Pero hindi naman lahat ay Japanese food. Tulad nito, ito ang Chez Remy, serving French classics like escargot and mussels in wine, pero meron ding mga Japanese fusion creations. Halos lahat ng mga yatay ay affordable, at least compared to proper restaurants. And pinapatunayan ng mga food stalls na to na you can still find world-class flavors in small, unassuming spaces na hindi masakit sa bulsa. Medyo cramped, oo, pero yun actually yung interesting dito. Yung yatay kasi very intimate siya. Kapag kumakain ka, i-expect mo na you'll be shoulder to shoulder with strangers next to you. Kasi hanggang 12 lang usually yung kasya sa isang stall. Most recently, nakatabi namin sa Kenzo na yatay ang isang shop owner na nakausap namin tapos nag-share siya na yung business niya may Shopee page, tapos marami sa mga customers niya, yung mga nag-order sa kanya, ay galing sa Pilipinas. Yung mga moments na ganito make a meal at a yatay both a dining experience and a social affair. Mas i-feature pa namin itong mga yatay in our future videos, so if you don't want to miss that, please take this time to subscribe to this channel, ring the bell beside it, and turn on the notifications para lagi kang updated kapag naka-up na yung mga yon. By the way, ang list na ito ay not in any particular order ha. Hindi ito ranked. May numbers pero for easy reference lang siya. You could say that Ichiran is the global ambassador of ramen kasi ang dami niyang branches hindi lang throughout Japan pero maging sa ibang bansa. Meron silang stores sa Hong Kong, Taipei, and even New York. And yes, na-try na namin yung mga yan. Kung fan ka ng Ichiran, don't miss the chance to dine at the Ichiran original shop and headquarters. Aside from the private cubicles na dyan pinakakilala ang Ichiran, they also have the more usual table setup. Tapos meron din silang mga bowls na hindi yung usual na bilog. Pero if you're an Ichiran super fan, make the pilgrimage to Ichiran no Mori in Itoshima. It's also part museum, part factory, part culinary journey. You can see how the noodles are made, pwede mo ring malaman yung history ng Ichiran as a brand, and of course, pwede kang kumain ng fresh bowl ng ramen right here at the source. Surrounded by trees and serenity, ito yung ultimate Ichiran experience. By the way, kung hindi ka familiar, yung concept kasi ng Ichiran, kaya siya interesting para sa mga turista lalo na, ay instead na yung usual na table, di ba, na harapan kayo nung kasama mo or magkatabi kayo, sa mga Ichiran stores, meron kang sort of privacy. Kasi naka-divide yung area into small booths separated by partitions, tapos kakain ka na walang nakakakita sa'yo, walang distraction, ganon. Hindi masyadong makakapag-small talk, tapos isa-serve lang sa harap mo, parang may window, tapos ilulusot lang nila doon yung ramen. Tapos kung meron ka mga additional order, hindi mo kailangang makipag-usap or makita yung waiter. Maraming fans ang Ichiran, as in, lalo na dito sa Pilipinas. May iba sinasabi, ito yung best ramen daw sa Fukuoka. Kami, hindi naman siya yung best for us, pero nasasarapan din naman kami sa kanya. Yung broth kasi niya is very savory and flavorful. Yung noodles niya, thin and firm, na ganun naman talaga dito sa Fukuoka. And yung spicy red sauce niya sa gitna, masarap din naman talaga. And while locals prefer smaller and more affordable na ramen places, for first-timers and tourists dito sa Japan, lalo na sa Fukuoka, ang pagkain sa Ichiran halos parang rite of passage na siya. Kung mabenta sa mga turista ang Ichiran, most ng mga locals naman na nakakausap namin, ang paborito nilang ramen bar sa Fukuoka ay Shin-Shin. Marami rin itong branches scattered around the prefecture. And dalawa na yung na-try namin, sa Tenjin at sa Hakata Station. Yung tonkotsu ramen nila is rich pero hindi siya heavy. Tapos very complex, may depth, very hearty. And tama lang yung alat to make you slurp non-stop. And ang maganda sa Shin-Shin, hindi lang siya ramen lang yung sinaserve. Every visit namin, nag-order kami ng iba pang dishes and hindi naman kami nade-disappoint. Yung yakisoba nila, very smoky with just the right chew, while yung gyoza nila ay Fukuoka style, yung maliliit lang, bite-sized. And at one time pa nga, nag-order din kami ng champon eh. Ito yung seafood noodle dish na specialty sa Nagasaki. Pero meron din sila dito. Now, let's move on to another city, pero sa Fukuoka Prefecture pa rin. Fukutsu. Sushi places take pride in their fresh fish, as they should. Pero dito sa Yushiyatai Ominoiro, it's also about the atmosphere. Obvious na obvious yan, pagpasok mo sa loob, may bar, tapos kapag umupo ka, nakaharap ka sa chef preparing your sushi, tapos sa likod niya, may mahabang window that perfectly frames the beach. Sobrang scenic. Imaginein mo kumakain ka ng sushi habang pinapanood mo yung mga alon sa dagat at yung mga tao na naglalakad-lakad along the beach. Ang in-order namin ay yung omakase set nila, which is composed of 10 pieces of sushi, tapos may kasama ring miso soup, a small bowl of vegetables, and a cup of chawanmushi. Isa itong smooth, savory, steamed Japanese egg custard with dashi. Yung consistency kasi niya parang taho. Pero, hindi ko alam kung ako lang to. Pero yung lasa niya reminds me of balut for some reason. Mahilig ako sa balut, so G na G tayo dyan. But of course, the main star here is the sushi. Every piece is cut with care and precision. Tapos, pinapatong siya sa isang clump ng wasabi flavored rice. Pero actually, kung ayaw mo ng wasabi, pwede mong sabihan naman yung chef na walang wasabi. May ganong option. Yung tuna was so tender, yung sea bream or yung Thai was clean and bright. Tapos yung ika, ito yung squid, had that natural sweetness. And itong abalone, gumagalaw-galaw pa. Bawat isa na sinerve sa amin, sobrang fresh and very satisfying. Pero I think yung favorite ko ay yung 10th piece na sinerve in a bowl, topped with a generous portion of ikura. Tapos inask pa kami ng chef kung gusto pa namin kasi dadagdagan niya. And syempre nag-yes kami and dinagdagan naman niya. So, approve. Ang pinakagustuhan ko dito sa Sushi Yatai Ominoiro is yung atmosphere talaga nila. Very nakakakalma. And simple lang naman siya eh. Kahit tanggalin mo yung view, yung setup niya is very simple lang. No conveyor belts, no gimmicks. Just sushi, the sea, and you. Tapos, yung mga sauces din pala nila, masasarap din. Napabili pa nga ako nung yuzu and kabosu na sauces nila na nasa bote. Take home pa. Yes, you read it right, pero you're probably pronouncing it wrong. It's called Tanga Market, hindi yung isang pagbasa. And yung pagpunta dito sa Kitakyushu, it's definitely a smart move kasi maraming pwedeng makita and magawa dito. And kung part ng itinerary mo ang Kitakyushu, consider a stop here, dito sa Tanga Market. Very local nung vibe. It's often called the Kitchen of Kitakyushu and pagpasok mo, you'll understand why. Halos lahat ng tinda dito ay mga pagkain. And very interesting yung experience dito. Yung pinaka-intriguing na specialty kasi nila dito, ang tawag ay nukadaki. It's a traditional dish na gawa sa isda, usually mackerel, pero pwede rin yung ibang klaseng isda. Tapos marinated siya and simmered sa nuka or fermented rice bran. Very simple lang pero sobrang sarap. Talagang nanunuot yung lasa nung marinade or nung sauce hanggang sa kaloob-looban ng isda. After namin maglakad-lakad dito sa Tanga Market, we ended up dito sa Uomachi Gintengai, regarded as the oldest shopping arcade in Japan. Or at least, sila yung unang gumamit ng term na Gintengai, which means silver-covered street. Kung ayaw mo naman ng nakatayo lang and mas gusto mo ng proper sit-down dining experience, marami kang mahahanap na makakainan dito kasi maraming restaurants dito, cafes, and izakaya. In fact, dito located yung next item sa list natin. If there's one thing that perfectly captures Fukuoka Prefecture's knack for hearty yet unpretentious food, ito yung Tetsunabe Gyoza. Familiar naman tayo sa gyoza, di ba? So, similar, pero smaller, tapos pan-fried and served sizzling on a small iron plate. Ganyan yung itsura niya. And tinry namin ito dito sa Kokura Tetsunabe sa Honten. And honestly, nung umpisa, parang carry lang naman siya. I mean, they were good, pero na-feel ko na mas marami yung dough kesa sa filling. Pero after nung second piece, tapos yung third, mas na-appreciate ko siya more. And before I knew it, ubos na yung share ko. Tapos na-realize ko, kaya siya ma-dough din talaga. Kasi yung tinatry kasi nilang i-achieve is yung super crispy na skin. Yung halos nagdidikit-dikit na talaga yung mga gyoza. Pero yung loob naman, juicy pa rin and perfectly seasoned. Pag sinerve siya, mainit. Hindi lang mainit-init mainit talaga siya. And sabi nila, it's best enjoyed with a glass of beer or highball. So, yun yung in-order namin. Dito sa store na to, a serving is 8 pieces, tapos 680 yen yun. Pero pag o-order ka kasi, minimum of 2 servings yung required. So, minimum 16 pieces. Itong nakikita nyo sa video, 4 servings yan. So, meron yang 32 pieces of gyoza. We also had a small bowl of sliced raw mackerel. Ang tawag nila dito is saba, na served with soy sauce and vinegar sauce. Tapos, nag-order din kami ng salted pork tongue with shallots and nukadaki. Ito yung binanggit ko kanina na binebenta dun sa Tanga Market. Yung dalawang fish dishes, yung saba and nukadaki, sila yung pinaka naging favorite ko dito. Makikita naman itong food spot na to dito sa Nogata. Medyo malayo na to from Fukuoka City. Pero, surprisingly, sobrang na-enjoy namin dito. Actually, hindi nga kami dapat ma-surprise kasi it's in the name. Bikuri means surprise. And that's exactly what this place delivers. Surprising because of the lasa and because of the presyo. Sa loob kasi ng complex na to, meron kayong makikita na food hall kung saan most of the sushi ay priced at 100 yen a piece. And masarap siya. Kasi 'di ba may mga sushi na, oo, 100 yen nga pero bokot yung lasa. Ito, 100 yen pero masarap. They ate clean and bright and really, really fresh. Tapos sa kabilang side naman ng food hall, merong yakitori store. 130 yen per stick naman yan. Pero yung serving niya malaki. Hindi siya yung madalas na yakitori serving na nakikita natin na may 3 or 4 pieces lang. 'Di ba sa mga izakaya, ganun lang kaliliit. Dito, madami. Mahaba yung stick. Tapos siksik. And yung mga yakitori, they're available in shoyu and shio options. Pero parehong smoky, juicy, and freshly grilled on-site. Akala nga namin okay na kami dun Pero habang naglalakad-lakad kami, we stumbled upon this stall selling ramen for only 400 yen. At least yung basic option. And ewan ko, pero it tastes almost like Ichiran. Very similar yung taste profile niya. Pero for less than half the price. So talagang na-amaze kami dito sa food spot na to. Wala namang anything fancy about this place. Very unassuming lang siya. Fluorescent lights, yung mga counters, simpleng-simple lang, plastic trays, alam mo yon. Pero I think yun yung charming here It's undeniably local. Wala nga kaming ibang nakitang foreign tourists Kung may turista man, siguro Japanese din sila, hindi na namin sila na-detect. Tapos halos lahat nag-enjoy lang silang mamili ng mga pagkain. You can order piece by piece, pero pwede ka ring mag full-on feast mode tulad ng ginawa namin. Yung mga ganitong spot sa Japan reminds me na yung good food talaga, it doesn't need to be expensive or complicated. Sometimes, kahit yung sa mga ganitong casual joints lang na malayo from the usual tourist trail, magmamarka talaga siya sa'yo. Gaya ng sabi ko kanina, malayo to from Fukuoka City. Actually, malayo nga rin to kahit from Kitakyushu or any other major tourist destination. If you're taking public transportation, it can take a lot of time and effort. So, it's hard to position it sa isang itinerary. Pero if you're on a road trip tapos madadaan ka naman dito, it's definitely worth a stop. Kaya lang, mahirap siyang sadyain. This is Yoshii. It's a charming little town na kilala for its white-walled storehouses and well-preserved Edo period streets. For one afternoon, nagpa-ikot-ikot lang kami dito, lakad-lakad, pasok-pasok sa mga shops, kain-kain sa bakery, ganyan. Pero the next day, pumunta kami dito sa Juhachi Yoshii. Isa itong countryside restaurant na ang specialty nila ay duck and pork. Pero si Vince kasi hindi siya kumakain ng duck, so ang tinry namin dito is yung mga pork specialties nila. Actually, kahit yung sukiyaki nila, di ba traditionally beef yan, dito sa Juhachi, pork din siya. Thin slices of pork simmered in a sweet savory broth, tapos may tofu, vegetables, mushrooms, and noodles. Ito yung first pork sukiyaki namin ever, and hindi naman kami binigo. Masarap pa rin naman talaga. Actually, kung hindi mo alam na pork siya and hindi beef, you wouldn't know. At least ako. Pero kasi hindi naman ganun ka-refined yung palate ko. So, whatever. Pero yon, each bite nung pork, very tender kasi and very comforting. Tapos, after naming maubos yung sukiyaki, tsaka dumating yung tonkatsu. Super thick and incredibly juicy pork cutlet fried to golden perfection. Yung crust had that ideal crunch, pero yung meat inside stayed moist and flavorful. Malalasahan mo talaga na quality ingredients yung ginamit nila, especially yung meat. Tapos nakakatuwa pa kasi na-meet pa namin yung chef after the meal. And syempre proud na proud siya sa mga luto niya. And tama lang kasi masarap naman talaga. Again, it's located in Yoshi in Okiha City. So it's best to visit this as lunch or dinner stop kapag nag-explore ng Yoshi Town or if part naman talaga ng itinerary mo ang Yoshi. In our previous video, natouch na rin namin itong Ringo Tobudo Noki where we spent a morning picking apples, persimmons, and grapes. Pero ang hindi namin napag-focusan masyado ay itong on-site cafe nila. And usually, hindi naman ako masyadong nag-expect much from cafe sa mga tourist spots. Pero ito, worth kainan talaga. Pagpasok pa lang namin, na-mesmerize na kami agad by their display case full of pies. Tapos nung dumating na yung order namin, grabe, masasabi ko talaga, it was the best apple pie of my life. Granted, hindi naman ganun kadami yung apple pie na natitikman ko in my life. Pero this one set the bar ridiculously high. Yung crust was flaky, the filling had just the right balance of sweet and tart, and the apples were so smooth and silky. But again, don't trust my word for it. Go try it yourself next time na madaan ka dito sa part na to ng Fukuoka. Anyway, there was something poetic about eating an apple pie after picking apples. Alam niyo yun? Kasi parang farm-to-table chururut ganap siya. Pero syempre, hindi naman yung pinitas namin that day yung binake. Pero may ganun lang siyang feeling. So, nakakatuwa. You can find this cafe in Asakura, not within Fukuoka City or Kitakyushu, but still part of Fukuoka Prefecture. There's a lot of places to see dito sa Asakura and even sa nearby Okiha, mostly agricultural and cultural na mga attractions. Pero if you decide to explore this part of the prefecture, daan kayo dito. Mag-fruit picking kayo, tapos kain kayo dito sa cafe na to. Kasi ako na-enjoy ko talaga. Our next stop is located just next to Umi Hachimangu Shrine. Ang pangalan nito ay Tokinose, and ang specialty dito, wagashi, or yung traditional Japanese sweets. Wagashi comes in all shapes and colors. Tapos, iba-iba rin ng paraan ng paggawa, depende sa type. Pero madalas, yung mga nakikita ko ng mga wagashi shops, they can get pretty artistic too. And nire-reflect nila usually yung season. So, kunyari, dito sa Tokinose, since it was autumn, ang in-order namin ay itong mga seasonal treats nila that showcased yung mga fall ingredients. This one, it looks so kawaii. It looks like a cute na persimmon. Well, persimmon yung main ingredient. Ang tawag nila dito is Aki Kitashi. It's a yam-based sweet bun filled with bean paste and dried persimmon wrapped in a layer of persimmon yokan or bean jelly. Ito naman, mukha siyang sweet potato or kamote. Or yung yaki imo, di ba mukhang ganon? It's called hokori. Purple sweet potato wrapped in purple na batter with a little bit of cinnamon. Pareho, yung pieces na to, itong persimmon and itong sweet potato, hindi sila ganun katamis, which I always appreciate. Sa edad nating to, yun na yung habol ng panlasa natin and ng katawan natin. But the standout for us ay itong Mont Blanc Daifuku. Limited time only ito. It's mochi filled with cafe au lait na flavored bean paste, tapos sa ibabaw may Japanese chestnut cream and candied chestnuts. Yung flavor nito very delicate pero perfectly balanced, hindi ganun katamis, hindi rin ganun ka-bold, just beautifully composed. And ito yung pinaka nagustuhan namin sa tatlo. Of course, hindi kompleto ang listahan na to kung walang at least one drink to wash it all down with. If you think Japan is all about sake, wait until you visit Fukuoka Craft Brewing in Okagaki. Actually, hindi naman din ganun kalaki ang craft brewing industry dito sa Japan, pero nagsa-start na silang dumami. And dito nga sa Fukuoka Prefecture, isa ito sa mga sumisikat na craft beer. Yung company nila has been around for about 8 years, pero yung brewery site na to, 3 years pa lang na nag-ooperate. We're lucky enough na tinur kami around the facility nung brewer mismo, si David Victor. And makikita mo sa kanya na talagang very passionate siya about beer and beer brewing. After getting acquainted with the whole brewing process, syempre, ito na yung favorite part natin, beer tasting. And we started with a sampler of 4 beers. Ito, yung session IPA nila, it's very light at only 3% alcohol, almost juice-like sa unang tikim until merong a little bit of bitterness ka nang matitikman pag nalunok mo na siya. Then, itong hazy IPA, cloudy and golden, mukha siyang pineapple juice sa unang tingin, pero 6% alcohol yan, so slightly stronger. Mabango siya na very tropical yung aroma niya. Ito naman, triple IPA, so richer, hoppier, and 9% alcohol naman to. Pero ako kasi, mahilig ako sa dark beer. So I was really looking forward to this. Imperial Stout, na syempre gawa sa roasted malt. Ito, very dark, full-bodied, and reminds me of coffee or chocolate. Pero mas smoky lang and punchy at 10% alcohol. What impressed us the most here is yung willingness to experiment ng brand na to. Tulad nitong rice flour ale nila, brewed with koji mold. Yes, mold na nag-grow dun sa rice. Pero safe naman yan, guys. Meron siyang sake-like sweetness and very refreshing, oddly. Then, isa sa mga huli naming tinikman ay itong Sea and Tomato Mexican Ale inspired by micheladas. Yung michelada, it's a Mexican beer cocktail with lime, tomato juice, and spices. So, yun yung tinatry i-capture nung beer na to. It started with a briny clam flavor, tapos biglang malalasahan mo na yung tomato. And finally, kapag nalunok mo na siya, mararamdaman mo yung anghang sa throat mo. Tapos nag-i-intensify siya habang tumatagal. It's strange, brave, and brilliant. You could say that. Kasi para siyang beer and salsa in one glass, alam mo yun. It's an acquired taste, to be honest. I can imagine na hindi lahat magugustuhan, pero I think I acquired it immediately. Yun nga lang, medyo detached yung brewery nito from all the other attractions na na-mention namin dito sa channel na to. So you might find it out of the way talaga if it's the only place you're visiting in the area. Pero if you're a beer lover willing to go the extra mile, then go for it. Pwede namang puntahan by public transportation, possible naman, matagal lang a little bit. Pero it's best visited if you're on the way from Fukutsu or Fukuoka City to Kitakyushu. Hindi siya along the way, pero dadaan siya sa malapit. Or kung nagda-drive ka, if you're on a road trip, pwede. Pero kung ayaw mo nang pumunta all the way here, you can also get a taste of their products sa Fukuoka City mismo. Specifically at Fukuoka Craft Brewing with Komatsu, na makikita mo sa Hakata Deitos Annex. Malapit yan sa Hakata Station. And sineserve din yung mga products na to sa Fukuoka Craft by El Borracho in the city's Daimyo District. I think same owner kasi yung mga to. And finally, we have Motsunabe. Lagi naming nakikita to all over Fukuoka sa mga signs, sa mga brochures, and sa mga local recommendation list. Pero somehow, after multiple trips, we never got around to trying it. That is until our very last day, actually last hour in Fukuoka, sa airport of all places. Inside Fukuoka Airport kasi, merong Hakata Food Hall. Bagong tayo lang to kasi kaka-renovate lang ng airport. And while looking for a dinner place before our flight, we spotted a branch of Motsunabe Rakutenchi, one of the city's most beloved hot pot chains. So, sabi namin, tara, pasok na tayo dito para matikman na natin finally ang Motsunabe. Pero ano ba tong Motsunabe? So, hot pot siya na specialty ng Fukuoka na meron siyang beef or pork na offal or lamang loob, tapos simmered in a flavorful broth na may cabbage, garlic chives, and chili peppers. Yung lamang loob might sound intimidating or kasi 'di ba marami sa atin, like kunwari si Vince, hindi siya mahilig kumain ng mga lamang loob. Pero dito kasi, maliliit lang yung pieces and deeply flavorful, absorbing all the goodness of the broth na walang stink or yung funky aftertaste na madalas meron kapag may lamang loob involved. Alam niyo yun? Yung, di ba may a little bit of untouched usually, pero ito wala. Wala siyang ganon. And yung lasa niya, it reminded me so much of our very own nilaga, pero richer and fuller. And yun nga lang, merong lamang loob and maraming chives. Ako kasi, mahilig talaga ako sa lamang loob. Ilang beses ko na itong sinabi dito sa channel natin. I think, aswang yata ako nung past life ko. Kasi favorite ko talaga to. So, I can't believe na I waited this long to finally try it. You can actually find it in other places in Japan, Mapa Osaka man yan, Tokyo, ganyan. Pero it originated right here in Fukuoka. So, it's a true local specialty dito. I'm sure there are better bowls of Motsunabe in the city center. Pero itong version ng Rakutenshi, it's a warm, tasty introduction to the dish. To me, Motsunabe also kind of represents Fukuoka as a whole. 'Di ba? From the ramen stalls of Nakasu to the countryside cafes ng Yoshii, yung mga specialties ng Fukuoka, they aren't trying to impress or intimidate, lalo na yung mga turista. Rather, they're trying to connect with you and celebrate food not as a luxury but as part of daily life. It's a destination for eating your heart out in a way that is unapologetic and authentic, but still very welcoming and very Fukuoka. Alin sa mga dishes na to, yung na-try nyo na? And kung wala pa, alin ang pinaka-excited kayong itry for the first time? Let's talk in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a like and share with your friends. We have more Fukuoka videos coming up, so please subscribe to this channel. And remember, plan smart, travel safe, and make every trip worth it!